Chapter 10, The Harmony Keepers. 700 years into humanity's exodus, first contact was no longer a distant possibility but an immediate reality. Captain Sarah Santoshjan Park Kim Rodriguez stood on the bridge of Ark 1 New Genesis, watching the real-time holographic display of a Harmony Keeper vessel approaching their fleet. After centuries of radio communication, the two species were finally meeting face to face. The alien ship was unlike anything in human engineering, a crystalline structure that seemed to grow rather than be built, its surfaces reflecting and refracting the light of the twin stars in patterns that suggested both technology and biology. The vessel was massive, easily 3 times the size of the human ships, but it moved with an organic grace that spoke of technologies beyond human understanding. Harmony Keeper vessel has matched our velocity and is requesting permission to dock, reported Communications Officer David Kim Rodriguez Santos Parkshin. They're transmitting in perfect standard fleet language. The linguistic achievement was remarkable. The Harmony Keepers had learned human languages from centuries of transmitted communications, developing fluency that exceeded many shipborne humans. Their collective consciousness had allowed them to process and understand human linguistic patterns with unprecedented efficiency. Permission granted, Captain Santoshjan Park Kim Rodriguez replied, her voice steady despite the historic magnitude of the moment. Direct them to Docking Bay 7. Alert all senior staff for first contact protocols. The docking process was smooth, the Harmony Keeper ship interfacing with human technology using universal docking standards that had been developed through decades of transmitted technical specifications. The airlock seals engaged with a soft hiss, creating the first physical connection between human and Harmony Keeper technology. Dr. Maria Park Santoshjan Rodriguez Kim, the fleet's chief xenobiologist and first contact specialist, led the reception team. Her years of study had prepared her for this moment, but nothing could have fully prepared her for the reality of meeting an alien intelligence. The airlock opened, and the first Harmony Keeper stepped through into human space. The being was tall, approximately 3 meters in height, with a body that seemed to be constructed from living crystal. Its skin had a translucent quality that revealed complex internal structures that pulsed with soft light. Its face was humanoid in general arrangement but with features that spoke of entirely different evolutionary pressures. "Greetings, humans of the ship New Genesis," the Harmony Keeper said, its voice produced by resonance chambers that created harmonics impossible for human vocal cords. "I am he who sings with starlight, speaking for the Harmony Collective of Kepler 442c. We welcome you to our star system." Dr. Park Santoshjan Rodriguez Kim stepped forward, following the first contact protocols that had been developed over centuries of preparation. "Greetings, he who sings with starlight. I am Dr. Maria Park Santoshjan Rodriguez Kim, representing the human fleet. We are honored by your welcome and grateful for your assistance in our time of need." The formal greeting was followed by a moment of profound silence as two intelligent species regarded each other across the vast gulf of evolution and biology. The Harmony Keeper's large eyes, with their prismatic quality, seemed to analyze every detail of the human representatives. "Your species is even more remarkable than your transmissions suggested," he who sings with starlight observed. "Your individual consciousness creates patterns of thought that are both chaotic and beautiful. We have much to learn from each other." The initial meeting was conducted in the ship's main conference room, with representatives from all 5 human ships participating via holographic link. The Harmony Keeper delegation consisted of 3 individuals who seemed to function as a single consciousness while maintaining distinct personalities. "We have prepared extensively for your arrival," explained she who harmonizes with Ocean, the second Harmony Keeper representative. "The settlement zones have been established according to your specifications, with atmospheric processors to ensure compatibility with human biology." The preparation was more extensive than the humans had dared hope. The Harmony Keepers had constructed infrastructure that would allow immediate settlement, including housing structures designed for human proportions, agricultural areas prepared for Earth-based crops, and manufacturing facilities that could integrate human and Harmony Keeper technologies. "We have studied your transmissions for 7 centuries, continued it who balances all things," the third member of the delegation. We understand that your species requires individual space for psychological health, varied nutrition for physical development, and creative challenges for intellectual growth. We have prepared accordingly. Captain Santos Jean Park Kim Rodriguez was amazed by the thoroughness of the alien preparation. You've invested centuries in preparing for our arrival. What do you hope to gain from this partnership? He who sings with Starlight's crystalline features shifted in what might have been the equivalent of a smile. Your species possesses qualities that complement our own limitations. Your individual creativity produces innovations that our collective consciousness finds difficult to achieve. Your rapid generational turnover creates adaptation speeds that our longer-lived society cannot match. The exchange revealed the fundamental differences and complementary strengths of the two species. Humanity's rapid innovation and individual creativity could provide the dynamic energy that Harmony Keeper society sometimes lacked, while the aliens' collective wisdom and long-term perspective could provide stability and sustainability for human development. Dr. Elena Rodriguez Kim Santos Parkshin, the fleet's chief anthropologist, asked about the social integration challenges. How do you envision our two species working together? Our social structures and decision-making processes are very different. Diversity creates strength, she who harmonizes with Ocean replied. We have established joint governance councils where human individual representation works alongside Harmony Keeper collective consciousness. Decisions affecting both species require consensus between both forms of intelligence. The governance model was elegantly designed to respect both species' needs. Human representatives would advocate for individual rights and rapid adaptation, while Harmony Keeper collectives would ensure long-term sustainability and environmental protection. Neither species could dominate the other, forcing genuine cooperation. We have also prepared cultural exchange centers, it who balances all things added. Spaces where humans can experience collective consciousness temporarily, and where Harmony Keepers can explore individual decision-making. Understanding each other's cognitive processes will be essential for successful cooperation. The cultural exchange program was perhaps the most ambitious aspect of the partnership. The Harmony Keepers had developed technology that could allow humans to experience their collective consciousness without permanent mental alteration, while humans could help individual Harmony Keepers understand the experience of separate consciousness and personal creativity. Captain Santos Jean Park Kim Rodriguez toured the Harmony Keeper ship with fascination. The vessel's interior was as organic as its exterior, with corridors that seemed to pulse with life and chambers that adjusted their configuration based on the needs of their occupants. The technology was clearly advanced beyond human capabilities, but it operated on principles that humans could potentially learn and adapt. Your ship appears to be grown rather than constructed, observed Chief Engineer Lisa Chan Park Santos Rodriguez Kim. The distinction between living and mechanical is less clear in our technology, he who sings with Starlight explained. Our ships are cultivated from crystalline organisms that we guide but do not fully control. They adapt to circumstances in ways that pure mechanical systems cannot. The technological exchange would be as valuable as the cultural one. Harmony Keeper biocrystalline technology could revolutionize human manufacturing and construction, while human mechanical engineering could provide the aliens with new approaches to problem-solving and system design. Dr. Sarah Kim Santos Rodriguez Parkshin, the fleet's chief medical officer, was particularly interested in Harmony Keeper biology. Your life expectancy far exceeds human norms. Do you experience aging and death as we understand them? Our consciousness patterns eventually disperse back into the collective, she who harmonizes with Ocean replied. Individual awareness fades, but knowledge and experience remain part of the greater harmony. Death, as you understand it, is both an ending and a continuation. The biological differences extended beyond lifespan to fundamental approaches to existence. Harmony Keepers experienced individual consciousness as a temporary focus of attention from the collective, while humans experienced collective consciousness as a choice to temporarily suppress individual awareness. Both approaches to consciousness had advantages and limitations. As the meeting continued, both species began to understand the magnitude of what they were creating. This was not just a settlement arrangement or a resource-sharing agreement, it was the foundation of the first truly interspecies civilization in known history. "We propose a gradual integration process," Captain Santos Park Kim Rodriguez suggested. "Initial settlements in prepared zones, followed by expanded cooperation as both species adapt to working together. Wisdom speaks through patience," agreed it who balances all things. "We have waited 7 centuries for your arrival. We can invest whatever time is needed to ensure successful integration." The meeting concluded with agreements for immediate technological exchange, cultural preparation programs, and the establishment of joint colonies on Kepler 442c. The human ships would be converted into orbital installations that would serve both species, while planetary settlements would be established according to carefully negotiated plans. As the Harmony Keeper delegation prepared to return to their ship, He Who Sings with Starlight offered a final observation. "Your arrival marks not just the beginning of human settlement on our world, but the birth of something entirely new, a civilization that combines the strengths of both our species." Captain Santos Park Kim Rodriguez watched the alien ship depart, carrying with it the promise of humanity's most ambitious partnership. The refugees who had fled Earth's dying magnetic field were about to become the founders of the first interspecies civilization in known history. The Harmony Keepers had proven to be everything the human transmissions had suggested and more, a peaceful, wise, and technologically advanced species that welcomed human settlement not as competition but as partnership. The integration would not be without challenges, but it offered possibilities that neither species could achieve alone. In 50 years, when the human ships finally reached Kepler 442c, they would not be arriving as strangers in a hostile environment but as partners in creating a new form of civilization. The ship-borne humans who had never known planetary life would work alongside silicon-based aliens who had never known individual consciousness to build something unprecedented in the history of both species. The meeting with the Harmony Keepers had transformed humanity's exodus from a desperate escape into a magnificent collaboration, the first chapter in the story of interspecies civilization among the stars. Chapter 11, Orbital Genesis. 50 years after first contact with the Harmony Keepers, the 5 ships of humanity's Exodus fleet entered orbit around Kepler 442c. Captain Elena Kim Santos Park Rodriguez stood in the observation deck of Arc 1 New Genesis, watching the alien world turn slowly beneath them, a blue-green sphere painted with swirling clouds and illuminated by the complex dance of light from the system's twin stars. 750 years had passed since humanity left Earth. Of the original colonists, none remained alive, but their legacy lived on in the nearly 1 million humans now distributed across 5 massive orbital installations that had once been interstellar ships. "Orbital insertion complete," reported Navigation Officer Sarah Rodriguez Kim Santos Park. "All 5 ships maintaining stable orbit. The Harmony Keeper orbital platforms are establishing communication links." The transformation of the ships into permanent orbital installations had been a triumph of human Harmony Keeper cooperation. The alien biocrystalline technology had been integrated with human mechanical systems, creating hybrid structures that combine the best of both species' engineering capabilities. Kepler 442c appeared even more beautiful than their telescopic observations had suggested. The planet's surface showed vast continents covered with vegetation that appeared purple and gold under the twin-star illumination, great oceans that reflected the complex interplay of yellow and orange light, and weather patterns that created constantly shifting displays of color across the atmospheric envelope. "The Harmony Keeper settlements are clearly visible," observed Dr. Maria Santos Kim Rodriguez Parkshen, the orbital installation's chief xenobiologist. "The crystalline cities appear to be grown from the planetary surface itself, integrated with the natural landscape rather than imposed upon it. The alien cities were marvels of bioarchitectural engineering, structures that seemed to emerge organically from the planetary surface, their crystalline walls refracting and channeling natural light to create beautiful displays that were visible even from orbit. The cities pulsed with gentle bioluminescence that suggested they were as much living organisms as constructed environments." "First shuttle launch preparations are complete," announced Planetary Operations Coordinator David Chin Park Kim Santos Rodriguez. "The initial settlement team is ready to depart for the primary colonial site." The moment that had been planned for over 7 centuries was finally at hand. Humans were about to set foot on an alien world, not as conquerors or refugees but as partners in creating an interspecies civilization. Captain Kim Santos Park Rodriguez-Chen addressed the settlement team before their departure. "You carry with you the hopes and dreams of everyone who made this journey possible, the original colonists who left Earth, the shipborne generations who maintained our civilization during the crossing, and the Harmony Keepers who prepared our new world for settlement." The settlement team consisted of 50 individuals representing the full spectrum of human expertise and cultural diversity. They included agricultural specialists, engineers, medical personnel, anthropologists, and cultural representatives from every major tradition that had survived the journey from Earth. Dr. Lisa Park Rodriguez Santos Kim, the team's leader and great-great-granddaughter of the original chief engineer Park, had spent decades preparing for this moment. She carried with her soil samples from Earth, carefully preserved seeds, and cultural artifacts that represented humanity's journey from a dying world to a new home among the stars. The atmospheric composition at the landing site has been adjusted to be fully compatible with human biology, she reported as the shuttle prepared for departure. The Harmony Keepers have established atmospheric processors that maintain oxygen-nitrogen ratios within optimal parameters. The shuttle descent was smooth, guided by hybrid navigation systems that combined human technology with Harmony Keeper biocrystalline interfaces. As they descended through Kepler 442c's atmosphere, the settlement team experienced weather for the first time in their lives: clouds that formed naturally from water vapor, winds that were driven by temperature differentials rather than mechanical systems, and the sensation of flying through air that had never been recycled. "The gravity differential is more noticeable than simulations suggested," observed Dr. Sarah Kimchen Santos Rodriguez Park as they approached the landing site. 30% stronger than ship normal gravity. "We'll need extended adaptation periods." The landing site was breathtaking. The Harmony Keepers had prepared a valley surrounded by purple-gold vegetation, with crystalline structures that would serve as initial housing in a landing pad constructed from materials that seemed to be part mineral, part organic. The twin suns cast complex shadows that created an ever-changing display of light and color across the landscape. As the shuttle touched down on solid planetary surface for the first time in human history, Dr. Park Rodriguez Santos Kim felt the weight of the moment. She was about to take the first human step on an alien world, representing not just her own species but the successful completion of humanity's greatest journey. The airlock opened, and Dr. Park Rodriguez Santos Kim stepped onto the surface of Kepler 442c. The ground was solid beneath her feet, not the metal decking of ship corridors but actual planetary material. The air that filled her lungs was real atmosphere, processed by an entire planetary biosphere rather than mechanical life support systems. "The air is..." She paused, searching for words to describe the sensation. "It tastes different. There are scents, vegetation, soil, something I can't identify. It's overwhelming after centuries of recycled atmosphere." The sensation of unlimited space was equally overwhelming. The shipborne humans had never experienced a horizon that wasn't defined by structural boundaries. The sky extended endlessly overhead, painted in shades of purple and gold by the light of twin suns, with no ceiling or walls to provide psychological boundaries. As the settlement team established their initial base camp, they were joined by Harmony Keeper representatives who had traveled from the nearby crystalline city. The aliens moved with flow and grace across the planetary surface, their biocrystalline bodies seeming to resonate with the natural environment. "Welcome to the surface of our shared world," greeted he who sings with starlight, now an old friend after decades of communication. "How do you find your first experience of planetary existence?" "Overwhelming and wonderful," Dr. Park Rodriguez Santos Kim replied honestly. "We've spent 7 centuries dreaming of this moment, but the reality exceeds our imagination." The integration process had been carefully planned through decades of communication and cooperation. Human settlements would be established in designated areas that would not disrupt Harmony Keeper communities or environmental systems. The aliens had prepared agricultural zones where Earth-based crops could grow alongside native vegetation, creating hybrid ecosystems that would benefit both species. "The soil analysis confirms compatibility with Earth-based agriculture," reported agricultural specialist James Santos Kim Park Rodriguez-Chen. The Harmony Keepers have modified the soil chemistry to support human food crops while maintaining compatibility with native plant life. The first human gardens on Kepler 442c were planted that day, seeds that had traveled across 2.5 million light-years from Earth, now taking root in alien soil under the light of twin suns. Tomatoes, wheat, rice, and other essential crops began their adaptation to a new world, while human agriculture specialists learned from Harmony Keeper environmental management techniques. Back in orbit, the orbital installations were undergoing their own transformation. The ships that had carried human civilization across the galaxy were being converted into permanent space-based communities that would serve as manufacturing centers, research facilities, and homes for humans who preferred space-based living. 40% of our population has indicated preference for remaining in orbital communities, reported Social Coordinator Elena Rodriguez Park Santos Kimchen. They're comfortable with controlled environments and find the idea of planetary life psychologically challenging. The solution respected the diversity of human adaptation that had emerged during the journey. Some humans felt called to experience planetary life, while others preferred the security and familiarity of space-based communities. Both approaches would contribute to the success of the interspecies civilization. The orbital installations would serve as bridges between planetary surface and deep space, providing manufacturing capabilities that took advantage of zero gravity and controlled environments. They would also serve as gateways for future human expansion to other star systems, maintaining humanity's capability for interstellar travel. As the first day on Kepler 442c concluded, Dr. Park Rodriguez Santos Kim stood under the alien sky watching both suns set in a display of colors that had never been seen by human eyes. The journey that had begun as an escape from Earth's dying magnetic field had culminated in the establishment of humanity's first interstellar colonies. But this was not an ending, it was a beginning. The ship-borne humans who had never known planetary life were learning to adapt to unlimited space and natural weather. The Harmony Keepers were learning to appreciate human creativity and rapid adaptation. Together, they were creating something unprecedented, a truly interspecies civilization that combined the best of both forms of intelligence. The orbital genesis marked not just humanity's arrival at a new world but the birth of a new form of civilization that would serve as a model for future interspecies cooperation among the stars. The refugees from Earth had become the founders of humanity's interstellar future. Chapter 12, The New Eden. 5 years after the first human settlement on Kepler 442c, the colony of New Eden had grown from a single landing site to a thriving community of 10,000 people. Mayor Dr. Sarah Chen Kim Santos Park Rodriguez stood at the observation deck of the Colonial Administration Center, watching the purple-gold forests of their new world sway in the gentle breeze that carried scents of alien flowers and the sound of unfamiliar wildlife. The transformation had been remarkable. What had begun as a carefully planned settlement had evolved into something neither species had fully anticipated, a truly integrated community where humans and Harmony Keepers worked together in ways that neither could have achieved alone. The agricultural yields exceed all projections, reported Agricultural Director James Park Rodriguez Santos Kimchen, approaching with the quarterly harvest data. The hybrid farming systems are producing 30% more food than either Earth-based or Harmony Keeper techniques alone. The success came from combining human biotechnology with Harmony Keeper environmental wisdom. Human genetic modification techniques had adapted Earth crops to grow in alien soil, while Harmony Keeper understanding of ecological balance had created farming systems that improved rather than depleted the planetary environment. The colony itself was an architectural marvel that reflected both species' aesthetics and practical needs. Human geometric structures were integrated with Harmony Keeper biocrystalline growth patterns, creating buildings that were both engineered and grown. The result was beautiful, functional, and perfectly adapted to the planet's unique environmental conditions. The cultural integration programs are showing excellent progress, reported Dr. Elena Santos Rodriguez Park Kimchen, the colony's chief anthropologist. We have the first generation of children who are growing up bilingual in both human languages and Harmony Keeper harmonic communication. The children were perhaps the most remarkable aspect of the new civilization. Human children were learning to appreciate the collective consciousness techniques of the Harmony Keepers, while young Harmony Keepers were discovering the excitement and creativity of individual decision-making. Neither species was losing its essential nature, but both were expanding their capabilities. The joint research projects are producing unprecedented results, added Chief Scientist Dr. Maria Rodriguez Kim-Park-Santos-Chen. Human rapid iteration research methods combined with Harmony Keeper long-term data analysis are solving problems that neither species could address alone. The scientific collaboration had yielded advances in energy generation, medical treatment, environmental management, and manufacturing techniques. The twin star system provided abundant energy that Harmony Keeper biocrystalline technology could harvest and store with remarkable efficiency, while human engineering created distribution systems that could power both species communities. Mayor Chen Kim Santos Park Rodriguez walked through the colony's central plaza, where the weekly Integration Festival was taking place. The celebration had evolved naturally from both species' cultural traditions, combining human music and dance with Harmony Keeper harmonic resonance and crystalline light displays. Human children played games that incorporated three-dimensional thinking developed during ship life, while Harmony Keeper young ones experimented with individual creative expression. The playground equipment combined human engineering with biocrystalline growth, creating structures that were both safe and beautiful. The Orbital Installations Report continued success, announced Communications Coordinator David Kim Santos Rodriguez Park-Chen. The manufacturing platforms are producing advanced technologies that benefit both planetary and space-based communities. The orbital installations had become crucial to the civilization's success. They provided zero-gravity manufacturing capabilities that could produce materials impossible to create on planetary surfaces, while also serving as transportation hubs for travel between the colony and other parts of the star system. What about expansion plans? Mayor Chen Kim Santos Park Rodriguez asked. The Harmony Keepers have approved additional settlement sites, replied Colonial Planning Director Lisa Santos Park Kim Rodriguez Chen. We can establish 3 more communities without disrupting existing ecological or cultural systems. The expansion was proceeding carefully, with extensive consultation between human and Harmony Keeper environmental specialists. Every new settlement had to demonstrate that it would enhance rather than degrade the planet's ecosystem, while also providing cultural and economic benefits to both species. Dr. Robert Park-Chen Santos Kim Rodriguez, the colony's chief medical officer, reported on the health adaptation programs. Human physiology is adapting well to the planetary environment. The stronger gravity is building muscle mass and bone density, while the complex light from the twin stars is providing vitamin synthesis that exceeds Earth normal levels. The medical adaptations were remarkable. Human bodies were becoming stronger and more resilient in the alien environment, while Harmony Keeper healing techniques were proving effective for treating human ailments that had been difficult to address with traditional medicine. We've also seen psychological improvements, Dr. Park-Chen Santos Kim Rodriguez continued. The shipborne who were initially overwhelmed by unlimited space are adapting successfully. The connection to natural environments appears to provide mental health benefits that we didn't anticipate. The psychological adaptation had been one of the greatest challenges and most pleasant surprises of the settlement. Many shipborne humans had feared the transition to planetary life, but most found that natural environments provided psychological satisfaction that artificial habitats could not match. Mayor Chen Kim Santos Park Rodriguez visited the memorial garden where they honored both the human colonists who had died during the journey and the Harmony Keepers who had devoted their lives to preparing for human arrival. The garden combined earth plants with native vegetation, creating a living symbol of interspecies cooperation. We're receiving interest from other star systems, announced Deep Space Communications Officer Elena Kim Rodriguez Santos Park-Chen. The signals we've been transmitting about our successful interspecies collaboration have attracted attention from civilizations in nearby systems. The news was both exciting and challenging. The success of human Harmony Keeper cooperation was inspiring other species to consider similar partnerships, but it also raised questions about expansion and resource management that neither species had fully considered. The Harmony Keepers are interested in hosting additional species, Mayor Chen Kim Santos Park Rodriguez noted. They believe that diversity creates strength, and that a multi-species civilization could achieve even greater things than our two-species partnership. The possibility of becoming a multi-species civilization was intriguing but complex. Each new species would bring unique capabilities and perspectives, but also new challenges for integration and cooperation. The systems they had developed for human Harmony Keeper collaboration would need to be expanded and adapted. As evening approached and both suns began to set, Mayor Kim Santos Park Rodriguez climbed to the highest point in the colony to watch the daily light show that painted the sky in impossible colors. The twin-star sunset was different every day, creating displays of purple, gold, orange, and red that reminded her daily of how far from Earth they had traveled. But this was no longer a foreign world, it was home. The humans of New Eden were no longer refugees from a dying planet but citizens of a thriving interspecies civilization. They had not just survived the journey across the galaxy but had created something entirely new and wonderful. The children playing in the plaza below were the first truly intergalactic humans, raised in partnership with an alien species, adapted to life under twin suns, and prepared to carry both human and Harmony Keeper culture forward into a future that neither species could have imagined alone. The colony of New Eden represented more than successful settlement, it was proof that different forms of intelligence could work together to create something greater than either could achieve alone. The refugees who had fled Earth's magnetic collapse had become the founders of humanity's first interspecies civilization. As the stars emerged in the alien sky, Mayor Kim Santos Park Rodriguez felt the profound satisfaction of a mission completed and a new chapter begun. The journey from Earth to Kepler 442c was over, but the adventure of building an interspecies civilization among the stars was just beginning. The New Eden was not just a human colony but the first true intergalactic community, a place where different forms of consciousness worked together to create a better future for all intelligent life. The dream that had begun with Earth's dying magnetic field had become reality under the light of twin suns in the Andromeda galaxy. Chapter 13, Children of Two Worlds. 10 years after the founding of New Eden, the first generation of truly integrated children reached maturity. Maya Chen Rodriguez Harmony Light, whose name reflected both her human heritage and her deep connection to Harmony Keeper culture, stood at the edge of the great valley that had become humanity's first permanent settlement on Kepler 442c. At 20 years old, Maya represented something unprecedented in the history of both species, a human who had learned to partially access Harmony Keeper collective consciousness while maintaining her individual creativity and decision-making abilities. She was not unique, dozens of her generation had developed similar capabilities through the cultural exchange programs that had been implemented since early childhood. The resonance is particularly strong today, Maya observed to her companion, Zenth, who learns from stars, a young Harmony Keeper who had mastered individual creative expression while maintaining connection to the collective. I can sense the emotional patterns of the entire colony. Their friendship represented the success of interspecies integration. Maya and Zenth had grown up together, learning each other's languages, cognitive processes, and cultural traditions. They moved seamlessly between human individual consciousness and Harmony Keeper collective awareness, creating new forms of intelligence that neither species had achieved alone. The orbital installations are reporting interesting developments, Zenth noted, his crystalline features reflecting the morning light of both suns. The deep space sensors have detected response signals from 3 other star systems. Our interspecies success is inspiring other civilizations to attempt similar cooperation. The news confirmed what many had hoped, that the Human Harmony Keeper partnership could serve as a model for interspecies cooperation throughout the galaxy. The signals they had been transmitting about their successful integration had attracted attention from civilizations in distant star systems who were interested in establishing similar partnerships. Maya and Zenth walked through the colony's education center, where children of both species learned together in ways that would have seemed impossible to their ancestors. Human children learned to appreciate long-term environmental thinking and collective decision-making, while Harmony Keeper young ones discovered the excitement of individual creativity and rapid adaptation. Teacher Thompson Harmony Song, how are the children adapting to the new curriculum? Maya asked the education coordinator, whose name reflected her own hybrid cultural identity. Remarkably well, the teacher replied. The children are developing cognitive capabilities that exceed either species' traditional limitations. They think both individually and collectively, adapt rapidly while maintaining long-term perspective, and create innovations while considering environmental impact. The educational innovations were producing results that amazed researchers from both species. The children were learning to switch between individual and collective consciousness modes depending on the task at hand, using whichever cognitive approach was most effective for specific challenges. Maya and Zenth visited the Agricultural Research Station, where the latest experiments in interspecies cooperation were producing extraordinary results. The hybrid farming systems had evolved far beyond their original design, incorporating innovations developed by children who understood both human biotechnology and Harmony Keeper ecological principles. The new crop varieties are showing incredible adaptability, reported Dr. Sarah Kim, Harmony Growth, the research station director. The children's hybrid thinking has produced agricultural solutions that neither species could have developed alone. The agricultural advances were just one example of how the integrated children were solving problems in new ways. Their hybrid consciousness allowed them to approach challenges from multiple perspectives simultaneously, producing innovations that surprised even their teachers. What about the orbital manufacturing projects? Zenth asked. The space-based communities are reporting unprecedented productivity, Dr. Kim, Harmony Growth replied. The combination of human individual creativity with Harmony Keeper collective coordination is producing manufacturing techniques that are revolutionizing both our technologies. The orbital installations had become centers of innovation where humans and Harmony Keepers work together to develop new technologies. Zero-gravity manufacturing combined with biocrystalline growth techniques was producing materials and devices that neither species could have created independently. Maya and Zenth climbed to the colony's highest observation point, where they could see the full scope of what their two species had built together. The settlement spread across the valley in patterns that combined human geometric organization with Harmony Keeper organic growth. The result was beautiful, functional, and perfectly integrated with the natural environment. Sometimes I try to imagine what it would have been like if humans had arrived here as conquerors instead of partners, Maya reflected. We would have destroyed so much beauty, learned so much less, achieved so much less. Zentha's crystalline features shifted in the expression his species used to indicate deep contemplation. The collective remembers civilizations that chose conflict over cooperation. They achieved temporary dominance but never achieved the exponential growth that comes from true partnership. Their conversation was interrupted by an alert from the Deep Space Monitoring Station. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, Harmony Deep Song, the communications director, was announcing the detection of a new signal that required immediate attention. We're receiving a complex transmission from the Proxima Centauri system, Dr. Rodriguez, Harmony Deep Song announced over the colony's communication network. The signal appears to be from a three-species alliance that has achieved successful integration. They're requesting information about our cooperation techniques. The news was exciting and challenging. The success of human Harmony Keeper cooperation was inspiring the development of multi-species civilizations throughout the galaxy. But it also raised questions about resource sharing, cultural preservation, and the management of increasingly complex interspecies relationships. Maya and Zenth joined the emergency council session where colony leaders from both species discussed the implications of contact with multi-species civilizations. The meeting demonstrated the sophisticated decision-making processes that had evolved from combining human individual representation with Harmony Keeper collective consciousness. We have a responsibility to share our knowledge, argued Mayor Chin Kim Santos Park Rodriguez. Our success was built on the foundation of Harmony Keeper generosity and human adaptability. We should extend similar support to other civilizations. But we must also consider the impact on our own development, cautioned Elder He Who Sings with Starlight. Rapid expansion of interspecies contact could disrupt the careful balance we have achieved. The debate continued for hours, with both species contributing their perspectives on the complex question of galactic citizenship. The hybrid children like Maya and Zenth provided unique insights, understanding both individual concerns and collective implications in ways that pure representatives of either species could not achieve. What if we established a galactic cooperation network? Maya suggested. We could share our techniques for interspecies integration while learning from other successful partnerships. Each civilization could maintain its unique characteristics while contributing to a larger community of cooperation. Her suggestion reflected the hybrid thinking that was emerging from the integrated children. They understood that diversity created strength, that cooperation produced better results than competition, and that sustainable growth required balancing individual creativity with collective wisdom. The Council ultimately decided to respond positively to the Proxima Centauri transmission, offering to share their cooperation techniques while requesting information about multi-species integration. They would also begin preparing for the possibility of hosting delegations from other interspecies civilizations. As the meeting concluded, Maya and Zenth walked through the evening streets of New Eden, watching the daily sunset light show that painted their world in colors that would have been impossible under Earth's single sun. The colony buzzed with the activity of both species working together on projects that neither could have imagined alone. We're not just humans anymore, and we're not just harmony keepers, Maya observed. We're something new, citizens of an interspecies civilization that could become the foundation for a galactic community. Zenth agreed, his harmonic communication carrying overtones of hope and possibility. The children of two worlds are becoming the parents of a new form of civilization. We carry the best of both our species forward while creating something that transcends both. The integrated children represented more than successful cultural exchange. They were the living proof that different forms of intelligence could work together to create capabilities that exceeded the sum of their parts. The refugees who had fled Earth's dying magnetic field had not just survived but had evolved into something greater than they had ever been. The children of two worlds were preparing to become citizens of a galaxy where cooperation replaced conflict, where diversity created strength, and where the unique capabilities of each species contributed to the success of all. The journey from Earth to Kepler 442c had become the first step in humanity's evolution toward true galactic citizenship.